Family is the foundation of identity, and healing begins with telling the truth. Welcome back to the channel. I am Natalie, and today we're diving into the psychology behind survival mode and why so many of us mistake trauma responses for personality. Survival mode is not a personality. It's a psychological disorder developed in unhealthy environments. When a child grows up in an environment that is unpredictable, unsafe, emotionally unstable, or abusive, the brain reorganizes itself to keep them alive. This chronic state of readiness is what we call survival mode. Harvard University's Center of the Developing Child states that toxic stress in childhood disrupts the architecture of the developing brain, affecting emotional regulation, impulse control, and decision making well into adulthood. This isn't personality, this is neurobiology reacting to threat. The symptoms of survival mode, often misdiagnosed as personality. Impulsiveness, not because you're reckless, but because when your nervous system is always scanning for danger, long-term thinking shuts down. Research on trauma and the prefrontal cortex shows that chronic stress weakens the brain region responsible for planning and self-control. Defensiveness. You grow up having to protect yourself, often against the very people who were supposed to protect you. Your body learned that attack equals safety. Emotional dysregulation. If a child's home is unstable, the nervous system becomes unstable. Studies from the National Institute of Health shows that early neglect or chaos increases the risk of emotional hyperreactivity. Low self-esteem. Children internalize the environment they live in. When love is inconsistent, when affection is mixed with fear, the child concludes, I'm the problem, not because it's true, but because the brain would rather blame itself than accept that the caregivers were unsafe. Chaotic behavior. This is not you being dramatic. Chaos simply feels normal when that is the environment you were shaped by. The brain gravitates to what is familiar, not what is healthy. An important truth. Survival mode is a childhood survival strategy that becomes an adult liability. As adults, we're no longer in danger, but the nervous system doesn't know that. So we overreact, shut down, sabotage ourselves, repeat toxic patterns, and call it just who I am. But you're not broken, you're conditioned. The data you need to know. Here's what research shows. Children exposed to abuse, neglect, or chaotic homes are significantly more likely to develop emotional dysregulation, impulsivity, anxiety, difficulty with relationships, and self-esteem issues. Trauma and the brain. Toxic stress disrupts the amygdala. Your fear center becomes overactive. The prefrontal cortex, logic or control, becomes underdeveloped. The hippocampus, which is responsible for memory and learning, shrinks. These changes mimic symptoms often confused with bad behavior, attitude, or personality. Polyvagal theory, Dr. Stephen Porges. Children in unsafe environments get stuck in chronic fight, flight, or freeze states. This becomes their default operating system. The part you didn't ask for but need to hear. Many adults today are not emotionally immature, they are emotionally injured. And here's the critical part: when survival mode becomes your identity, you will choose survival relationships. You will choose survival partners. You will raise survival children. And this is how generational trauma builds ghettos, broken families, and cycles of pain. Not because people are bad, but because they are unhealed. Healing. Survival mode can be reversed. Science shows that the brain is plastic. It can rewire. Healing survival mode involves the following: regulating the nervous system, learning emotional vocabulary, safe relationships, therapy or trauma informed coaching, changing your environment, and reparenting yourself. Living in stability long enough for your brain to learn safety. You are not your trauma. You are not your symptoms. You are not stuck. Family is the foundation of identity, and breaking cycles begins with awareness. If today's message helped you, don't forget to like, share, and leave your reflections in the comments. And for deeper healing, growth, and parenting guidance, check out my recommended books in the description, all available through my Amazon links. Remember, you were not designed to survive. You were designed to live. See you in the next video.